Alright, so let's talk about Midnight Maple for 1 second. Midnight Maple starts off like this. This is a board of the hard rock sugar maple that we use on the Good Time necks. It's the exact same wood. It's a beautiful piece of wood. You can see my ink marks. I'll describe what's going on there in just a second. We put it through a proprietary staining process. So when it comes out, it looks a lot more like this. Right? And as you can see, it's messy, but it's worth it because it does look cool. Once we take this and we put it into the drying racks and we put it through the thickness sander, what ends up is a really cool kind of charcoal gray look. And this is just one piece of fingerboard. You can see some of the dyes still here. But the cool part is that this penetrates all the way through. Now what you're going to see, stuff like this. For figuring where it's maybe a little blonder than we'd like, this is going to go away anyway because the fingerboard is narrower than this. But you'll see some of the figuring and it looks cool, but every now and again you'll get stuff where the dye hasn't necessarily filled because the grain is so hard. This is an extremely dense wood. But let's cut it down the middle and just see how it goes, what the penetration is like. There you can see the dye is not just a surface dye. This is not something that's just wiped on with a cloth and then left to eat through. It is very penetrating through the wood, all the way through it. Get a closer look on this one. You still see some of that white there. It kind of is literally just a piece of the grain that is so hard within the grain itself that it doesn't penetrate. It just doesn't. It gets most of it, but it doesn't get it. And sometimes you're going to see that on a banjo as well. Let's go take a look. So as I mentioned, the Midnight Maple is the wood that we use on the fingerboards for the Good Time Artisan models, as well as the Vega White Oak and the White Lotus models. So just to give you an idea of what you might see on a banjo once it's become a fingerboard and it's been strung up. So you can see there's a couple of marks right there as you go down. These are completely normal. They are purely aesthetic. They are not scratches or blemishes. It is purely where the wood is so dense that even the proprietary staining process can't penetrate. You can see it if I walk around here onto the Vega. It's the same kind of story. You see a couple of little marks. Sometimes they're pretty bad and we don't use them. But on these are pretty normal. If you have these on your banjo, they are very normal. There is nothing wrong physically with the model. It is purely aesthetic, completely normal. And that's a little bit of an explanation on Midnight Maple. Thanks.